guys, it's your girl Ify, and yes, today is going to be a serious business. As you can see, my laptop is ready. If you watched my last video to the end, I said I was going to make another video to give a detailed explanation in order for you to know the best route or the route that is suitable for you to immigrate to Canada. So many people came to my DM after the other video that I said I helped a guy to immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident. So many people came into my DM asking for a video of how to know the route that is suitable for them to immigrate to Canada. Now, one thing is clear. There is nothing like the best route. The type of route you will choose depends entirely on your situation. There are some people that requires French, like learning French and writing that French exam to add to their comprehensive ranking score, while there are some requires them coming down to study to get that point to add to their comprehensive ranking score. Yet some requires PMP, which is the Provincial Nominee Program, in order to boost their comprehensive ranking score. So in this video, I'm going to give a detailed breakdown of how you can check your comprehensive ranking score. I'm going to just be playing with the tables and see how the score increases with the more variables I put in there. Whether you are a student or you want to go through the PMP, so the more things I put, you'll see how the score increases. With that, you should be able to tell. Able to tell which route is suitable for you. Either you want to come through the study route in order to get that additional point to increase your comprehensive ranking score, and then you can get an invitation to apply, or you want to stay back to try to aim for PMP, or you want to stay back at home to try to study French and then write Def Canada, which is the French exam. So if this video is something that you'll be interested in, I want you to sit, relax, because this video is all you need. You don't need any agent to start telling you you must come through the study route, or study route is the fastest way you can use to immigrate to Canada. Yet they will not tell you when you come to that study, when you come through study, you still have to look for a way to transition to become permanent resident. There are some people you can stay back at home, you become a permanent resident even before you come to study. Like me, I became a permanent resident right from my home country. So I didn't come to study first before I transitioned to become a permanent resident. I acquired that permanent residency right from my home country. So with this video, it will give you the detailed explanation so that you will know which of the route or what you need to do in order to increase your comprehensive ranking score. So with no further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is to go to Canada website, www.canada.ca. Click on enter. This is the official page of Canada, so you will like to use English, and then you go to immigration and citizenship. You see everything regarding Canada. Update is here. So go to immigration and citizenship. Remember guys, we want to know how to calculate your comprehensive ranking score. Okay, but before we do that, we'll have to check the number of people in the pool and their comprehensive ranking score. So you go to express entry, then you click on how express entry works. Scroll down. So it said to check your score. So this helps you to, if you click on this round of invitations, it shows you the number of people in the pool as well as the people they've invited, the last invitation to apply and all that. We'll click on this one first, but later on will come back here in order to play around with the comprehensive ranking score to determine the how high or how low your score will be. So first of all, you would like to go to round of invitation. When you go to round of invitation, you see this, the last time that IRCC sent an invite was October 26, and it was under the healthcare, and 3,600 people were invited with the low score of 431. So this score is very low because it's a specific draw compared to when you check this one is no program specified, meaning it's all program draw, which is under FSW, Federal Skilled Workers. So everybody that, if you notice, is 500, which is very, very high. Okay, so if you are in the pool and your score is from 500 and above, you get an invite. Then we have the provincial nominee program. This is usually very high. If you notice, the score is 776. If a province does not nominate you, you can't get up to this high score, because once a province nominates you, 600 additional points is added to your comprehensive ranking score. So that's why the provincial nominee program, the score is usually high. And for this one is French language. Those people that are proficient, if you took French, you can see that the score is as well low. Comprehensive ranking score is low. So that is about that. So the last invitation to apply was October 26th, 2023. So I will click on still rounds of invitation to see the number of people left in the pool. So when you scroll down, you see comprehensive ranking score distribution of candidates in the express entry pool. This is as at October 23rd. So this was last updated on this date. So I already know that more people have joined the pool. So if you notice, people that have 601 to 1,200, they are about 1,536 on October 23rd, and that's like almost close to a month. And you know, the more there is no draw, the more people are entering the pool, and it becomes more competitive. Now, people that have 500, for you to know that people within this range are mostly provincial nominee program that got nominated by a province, meaning extra 600 points is added to them. Okay, so that's why you see that the score is very high, from 601 up to 1,200, and the number of people in the pool is 1,536 as at October 23rd. Now, people between 501 to 600 is 1,307. Now, this kind of people might be people that took French, and as well they have master's degree or a PhD program. Because if you should mass out your IELTS as well as take TEF Canada, or possibly go to study in Canada or have Canadian experience, you might fall under this category. Okay, then people within 451 to 500 is 60,000 plus. You see, it's clustered. So that's why it's so difficult that once they are doing all program draw, it's very difficult to go below 490. Now look, so this is a breakdown. The numbers reading boldly is 60,587. That's the accumulated number of people. But when you go down, it gives you a breakdown of each, how many people is, as in number of candidates in a particular score. Like this one is 491 to 500. So people that have score of 491 to 500 are 4,853 candidates that is in the pool. Then below we have from 481 to 490, 9,514, 471 to 480, 18,000 plus. So the essence, if you scroll down, you see different categories of people with their comprehensive ranking score. So the reason why you just have to be checking the people in the pool is for you to know how competitive the pool is, so that you know that if you're like having 470 something or 460 something, it will really take by God's grace for you to get that invite. So what you need to do is to look for a way to boost your score in order to at least fall under this category for 500 plus, especially if you are just targeting FSW, which is the Federal Skilled Worker, and if you are not qualified for the provincial nominee program, meaning no province, you're not qualified for any province to nominate you. So if you are in this pool, and remember that every year the pool, if you are in the pool, yearly your express entry profile expires, so you have to create another one. And secondly, your IELTS stays for just 2 years, including your TEF Canada, which is the French exam, stays just 2 years and it expires. So which means you still have to start writing your IELTS and TEF Canada, or both, if you don't get invited. So if you have IELTS already, you maxed out, but your score is between this 470 something or 480 something, you try as much as possible to do other things that can help you to increase your score. So these other things can be you searching for a province that can nominate you to get 600 points. If, for example, you are just 470, now if a province should nominate you, the province gives you extra 600 points, which is added to your 470, and it boosts you to 1,000 plus. And that's how people are getting these scores here. So another thing that people normally do is they come in to study. That's why the study route comes in. That's why I said studying is not like studying is a temporary residence, not like it's a permanent residence. So why people come to study is if after entering the pool they discover, or after calculating their score, they discover that with their masters, maybe you have masters in your country, with them maxing out the IELTS, maybe they have IELTS band 8, 9 and all that to max out, but their score is still at 470. So the next option is either they come to study in Canada, which add additional points to them, and then if they have additional points that can boost them to 500, then they can now qualify. Maybe the IRCC will send an invitation to apply even before they get that Canadian experience, because once you finish schooling, an additional point is added to your comprehensive ranking score. So if your score is high enough, you might even get an invitation to apply before you start working. However, if your score is still low, as at when you finish your university, then you have to get work. That's why postgraduate work permit is very, very important. When you are choosing university, you choose a university that is postgraduate work permit eligible. So by that, you should be able to look for a work with that, and then you gain Canadian work experience. You need a minimum of 1 year work experience in order for more points to be added to your previous comprehensive ranking score. So when you have up to like 3 years work experience, that's the maximum number of years that you can, that's the maximum number of years you can get the highest points. But the minimum number of years is just 1 year. Once you have 1 year, if for example you already worked for 1 year and the 1 year is giving you just 20 or 30 points, it's added to your comprehensive ranking score. Then if you work up to 2 years, 2 years can give you up to like 60 points. Is added to your comprehensive ranking score. So the higher your work experience is in Canada, the more points you will have in order to add to your comprehensive ranking score. I hope you guys understand why people come here to study. So then another reason is if you come to study, especially in some provinces, because that's why you need to make research on the province that can nominate you. Like province in Ontario, if you do masters in Ontario, there's a special program for pathway for international students that did masters. So with that pathway you can apply. If for example you finished schooling, you can apply through that international pathway for Ontario for them to nominate you. Once they nominate you, you have extra 600 points, then you can add it to the normal comprehensive ranking score you have. Maybe you have 470. So once they nominate you, you have up to 600, then they give you 600 points. Once you add it, it will boost your score to 1000 plus, and definitely the next invitation to apply, you will get that invite. Okay, so this is why you need to check this table properly before you strategize or know the pathway that is good for you. Now let's go back to how to check your comprehensive ranking score. Okay, you need to click back here. Okay, so we'll click here. Use the CRS tool to estimate your score. So I believe you already saw the people in the pool and know that is as at October 23rd. So invariably more people are already in the pool, so you know it's more competitive. So this is how you calculate your comprehensive ranking score in order to know the score you will be and what you can do to increase the score. Now the first question is, what is your marital status? If for example you are a single applicant, you can click here, never married or single. Then how old are you? Know that people between if you are in your 20s, you get more points in your 20s. Of course, once you clock from 30 and above, you start losing either 5 points or 6 points. Okay, so let me choose, maybe the person is like 23 or even 29, because at 20 or 28, the person is 28 years, so you have the highest point for age, because in your 20s you have the highest point for age. It's when you clock from 30, 31, you start losing points when it comes to age. Then what is your level of education? Enter the highest level of education for which you earn a Canadian degree, diploma, what. So right now, let's assume that this person does not have a Canadian degree. So if this person does not have a Canadian degree, it means okay, had an education. Okay, this is for foreign. This is your degree back home, not a Canadian degree. Of course, you need WES or evaluation body to evaluate your credential, ECA. Okay, in order to show like the equivalent in Canadian studies. So if for example this person just have bachelor, you see there are different categories. You have secondary diploma, 1-year program at a university, 2-year program. So each categories give you there are different points. If for example you have just bachelor's degree will give you lower points compared to one that has 2 or more certificates, and 2 or more certificates will give you lower points compared to one that has masters. Now one that has masters will give you lower points compared to one that has doctorate degree. So the highest point, if you want to maximize the point for education, you should go for a doctorate degree, which is PhD, but I think that should be like waste of time because it usually takes for up to like 4 years or so. So like in my own case, I had just bachelor's. That was why I had to go back to do PhD so that I can qualify for 2 or more certificates, which will give me higher points compared to had it been I used just bachelor's degree. Now let me just click on bachelor's degree. Okay, and then I scroll down. Have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma or certificate? So my answer will be no. English or French second must not have been a model. So this is for people that went to Canadian school, like you are coming to Canada to study. You are in this category if you choose to come to Canada to study. That's why people that are coming to Canada to study is for you to earn points, to earn more points to add to your comprehensive ranking score. So this is for the official testing language. Canada's official language are English and French. So are your test result less than 2 years? Know that you can always check this course irrespective if you've written your IELTS or not. The main aim of checking this score is for you to know your head sway, what you need to do. That's the essence of you checking what's the possibility of you immigrating through a particular route. So that's the essence of this comprehensive ranking score. So let's assume you've written your IELTS, because all these are assumptions in order to know what your comprehensive ranking score will be. So we assume that yes, you've taken your IELTS. Which language did you take? Which we say, okay, IELTS, there's CELPIP, there's IELTS. These two are the English testing exams you can take. So you click IELTS, which is popular. Then you're speaking, let's assume you maxed out. You have like band 7.5 between this range. That's the meaning of maxing out, like getting the highest point. But Canada wants you to have like minimum of 6.5 in all of them for you to qualify. But I don't encourage anybody to have the score, because it's as good as, like, with the way the scores, the number of people in the pool, if you have the score, your score will not even go anywhere. So I encourage people to max out 7.5. Then listening is always the game changer. Like if you can max out in your listening, it will increase your comprehensive ranking score. Then reading, you're also maxing out 8.0 and the rest. Writing 7.5. So that's the meaning of maxing out. Then do you have other language results? The other language results can be TEF Canada. Let me say not applicable. Like in my case, I have to, like I said it earlier, that I have to learn French in order to add this to get more points. But let me just say not applicable, because I'm just like trying to compute the normal standard comprehensive ranking score that every other person can have and see what the score will look like. Then work experience. In the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada do you have? Now, this is where the people, if you want to earn points for Canadian experience, this is why working is important if you want to earn points. In my own case, I didn't come to Canada to work, so I will literally say none, because I didn't, as in if you choose not to come to study and then eventually get work, or if you get work from outside Canada, you can add that and say yes, then you add the number of years. But in this case is none. Let me just say that. Then in the last 10 years, how many total years of foreign skilled work experience do you have? So basically this is your work experience that you have back home. So the maximum years is 3 years to max out the point for work experience, foreign work experience. Then, do you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province, territory of? So this is when a province nominates you. Once a province nominates you, if you click yes on this one, it will give you extra 600 points. So that's why if your score is low, people look for province that will nominate them, because once you click yes here, it will add extra 600 points. So here we are saying no, we don't have that. Then, do you have a valid job? This word valid is very important. Do you have a valid job offer supported by LMIA, labor market impact assessment? If needed, we don't have that job offer, so we will click no on this one. Do you have a nomination certificate from a province or territory? Okay, this is the one that nominating from a province can give you extra 600 points. Let me go back to that question. Do you have certificate of qualification from a Canadian province, territory, or federal body? A certificate of qualification lets people work in small scale trade. Okay, this is under trade. Okay, so for the certification for nomination for 600 points, you say no. This is the one that will give you extra 600 points. The other one we mentioned no is for trade, people that are going under the trade. Remember that in express entry we have the federal skilled trade, the federal skilled worker, as well as the Canadian experience class. So this, if you have said yes in this one, they will classify you under the FSTP, which is the federal skilled trade program. Okay, so do you or your spouse or common law partner, if you have at least one brother, so if your spouse have a brother, or you have a brother or a sister that is a permanent resident, you will have additional point for this as well if any of your siblings are permanent resident in Canada. So in this case, let me just say no. Okay, then we go down. Did I miss out anything? I think I missed out something. Let me see what I missed out, because that's supposed to show the comprehensive ranking score. So I answered this. Language testing results. So it said select. Let me see. Okay, so we say no here. Calculate your score. So when you scroll down, do you see how low the score is? 441. So you can compare. Now when you go back to the pool, you see that 441 is very low. So it will be very difficult for you to get an invitation to apply for a permanent resident with this 441. Now see the breakdown. This is the breakdown of how you arrive at that score. Age, that is the maximum point, which is 110, because in your 20s you get maximum point. Level of education is 120. This is not maximum point because you don't have up to like a doctorate degree. Then official language too. The first official language is French. You have maximum point because you got the highest number of score in your IELTS. Then for the second official language, which is French, is 0. Canadian work experience is 0. Level of education, okay, this one is for those people, maybe because I use single. If you're married, at least your spouse will add some points if they decide to take the first official language, and if they have Canadian work experience, they will have points to add. Then transferability skill, education to a maximum of 50 points. Official language proficiency and education, you have 25 points. Then Canadian work experience and education is 0 points because no work experience in Canada and you did not school in Canada. Then foreign work experience, official language proficiency and foreign work experience, which is 50. That's the maximum number of work experience. If you have maximum number of 3 years, which is 3 years, you have 50. If it is 2 years, this score will reduce. If it is 1 year, it reduces. So because I use 3 years, that's why it's 50, which is the maximum point you can earn for your foreign work experience. Then, so the total is, when you add everything, 25 plus 50, it gives you 75. So additional points. Now, provincial nomination. Had it been a province nominates you, you have 600 points here. If you have job offer in Canada, there's another point. If you study in Canada, it gives another point. Sibling in Canada gives another point. French language skills gives you another point. You see, in this one, you don't have any point at all because you didn't claim or you did not work towards it. Now let's go back to the table. So in this case, since you already know where you can, some things you can do in order to increase your point,
you have the option of searching for a province that can nominate you, which increases your point. That's the first thing you need to do. You search for province that will nominate you. If you don't qualify for any of the province, you can getting a job offer from outside Canada is achievable, but it's very difficult. So I wouldn't recommend you to. You can still try, just be applying. Then another thing people do is study in Canada. That's when you come to Canada to study. So study in Canada is not like an immigration, like once you come to study in Canada, that's it. So study in Canada is just to give you points, okay? Then if you have sibling in Canada, it gives you more points, another point. Then if you study French, like some people that say, okay, I don't want to study in Canada, I'd rather stay back home and learn French, then take French exam, which will give you enough points to boost your score. So I chose this category. I said, okay, I don't want to come to Canada, and I don't have any sibling in, I don't want to come to Canada to study, to give me points, and I don't have any sibling in Canada. So what I did was, I had to study French, and then under my education, instead of me just using my BSc, I had to do additional degree, which is PGD, to earn 2 or more certificates, level of education. Now let's go back to the table and see these things that I did, and you'll see how the scores will increase. Okay, so let's assume you can also play with this 28 years. You can say, okay, let me say the person is up to like 35. You see what French and the rest can do for you to increase. Let me assume that this person now is 35 years, single, and then the person has decided to do PGD, because which is very easy to do. Less than 1 year you're done with the course, to get 2 or more certifications. And then, have you earned a Canadian degree or whatever? We still maintain no Canadian degree, meaning we are not coming to school to study. Then are your test result less than 2 years? Yes, so let's keep this one for the IELTS. Then do you have any other result? Let's say, okay, TEF Canada or TCF Canada are the 2 official French language, so you choose TEF Canada. In speaking, oh, that means we need to start this all over again, because I don't think I can edit this. So guys, let me start this all over again. Okay, use the comprehensive ranking scale. So let's start. So let's say never married, and then single, yes. Is your spouse or common law partner? Oh no, we are choosing no. Sorry, single. And then how old are you? Let's assume the person is like 35 years. Okay, and then let's assume your level of education, and we say we are choosing 2 or more certifications. And have you earned a Canadian degree, like coming to study in Canada? Let's assume no. And then no, yeah. So, and then official language, Canada's official language is English, so we are taking yes. You've written IELTS, and then this, the speaking, we are maxing out this, we are maxing out reading, max out writing, you max out. Then do you have any other one? And we say yes, which is TEF Canada, which is the French language test. In speaking, let's say you might not really max out, let me say intermediary, let's say in between. Okay, this can give you up to like B2. Then listening, reading, just in between. Then writing, in between as well. Okay, there are sometimes you can also max out. Then work experience, how many of skilled work experience in Canada? Let's assume we don't have any work experience, so in Canada. Then in the last 10 years, this is work experience from your home country, which is 3 years. Do you have a certificate? This is for trade, and we'll say no, we don't have any certification for that. Do you have a valid job offer supported by? No, you don't have a valid job offer. No. And do you have a nomination certificate from a province? We'll say no for the now. Then do you or your spouse or common law partner have a sibling? Let me just say no here. And now see the score. You see it has gone to 515. So this person now will now pursue, okay, the only thing that can make me to increase my score is when I learn French. If I learn French, I'll be able to get 515 at 35 years, and then also do PGD, which we qualify. You see, second official language added 24 points, and there's another additional point under, which is 50. So for French, this person has 74 points under French. So you see that French is a game changer. If you don't want to come to study, you don't want to burn money, you can learn French seated in the house, learn French, and then write the French exam. However, if you don't want to follow the French, you don't want to learn French, maybe you say, okay, I don't want to learn French, let's skip this, not applicable, okay? And you say you want to come to study. I just want to make you guys understand that studying is not like all the way, is a guarantee. If you're not careful, after studying, your score might still be low, and that's a big problem. So let's see where they asked if you have Canadian study. Let me check that. Have you earned a Canadian degree? So in this place, let's just say yes. Okay, choose the best answer to describe this level of education. Let's assume you came to do is it 1 or 2 year diploma, certificate, or degree, or masters. You came to do masters here, so we click on this. Now let's see what happens. Remember that we've eliminated French, right? So let's calculate the comprehensive ranking score now. If you have 471, did you see that? 471. Then if after your studies you say, okay, you have 471, what else can I do to increase my score? That's when you have to start looking for a job. That's why your university you're choosing should qualify for postgraduate work permit, because if it doesn't qualify, you can't look for a job. So let's go to this place that asks, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada do you have? Now in this case, after you finish studying, now you're working in Canada. Once you click on this one, you'll be categorized under the Canadian experience class. So let's assume 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Okay, no, I chose 2 years. Yeah, 3 years. So let's scroll down and see the score, calculate score, and see how it will boost it. It boosts to 535. So when you max out, when you complete your 3 years, so you might not necessarily wait for that 3 years. Let's assume, okay, you are able to get just 1 year experience first. With that 1 year, you have make sure that you are always in the pool, because the more years, once you clock, if you have 1 year experience in Canada, more points is added. So always be sure that you are in the pool. Don't complete your work experience before you be in the pool. So you see, this is 511. So if you come to Canada to study, and after studying your point is not still high, that's when you have to work in order to get Canadian experience, to get that work experience, to gain points. So you can imagine if your university that you chose or the college you chose is not PGWP eligible, you will be stopped. That's why you choosing a university that is DLI and as well as PGWP eligible is very, very important, because if you don't, it's a problem. Then for those people that are, let me say, above, so the essence is just play with this comprehensive ranking score, so that you will know, it will help you to know what you need to do. You've already seen the number of people in the pool, and now you are checking your score in order to know how to achieve that score, to be, so that you will be among the people that have high score in the pool. You understand? So with this, you should be able to know, for those people that are asking me the best route, you can see that there is nothing like best route. It depends on your situation, which goes on with your age, your level of experience, your education, and all that. So the basic requirement is IELTS. Maybe you have bachelor's degree and you evaluate your foreign credentials. You discover that the score you will have eventually will not even get you invitation to apply. So it's left for you to decide, okay, what do I do to increase my score? Should I come to study in Canada to earn more score? Should I just stay back to do French, to write French to earn more score? Or should I look for a province that can nominate me to get 600 points? Okay, we didn't do that particular one. Let me see the one that a province can nominate you. So after you've written your IELTS, let me remove this. Let's assume we don't have any work experience in Canada. We are not coming to Canada, none or less than, and then we are not studying in Canada as well. Where is that? Choose the best. Okay, here where they ask, have you earned Canadian degree? Let's assume no. So we'll go to where they ask if we have a nomination from a province. Okay, we assume yes. Remember, it adds 600 points. Now see how the score will be. Then this is no, if you don't have any siblings. Now calculate. Did you see 1041? So once a province should nominate you, look at it, it gives you extra 600 points if a province nominates you. Then if you have a job offer from outside Canada, I think this one gives you 200 points if you have a valid job offer. Then studying in Canada gives you points. Sibling in Canada, I think, gives you 25 points. Let me put it here that, okay, I have a sibling in Canada. Yes, let me calculate the point again. Sibling in Canada, okay, gives you 15 points for sibling in Canada. Now let's say studying in Canada, let me see the points that studying in Canada can give you. Let's assume you did masters in Canada. Where do you have a certificate? This is for additional. Okay, let's assume, do you have valid job offer supported? Let's assume yes, you have a valid job offer. Okay, we'll assume yes. Okay, so which knocked here, whatever, which job offer, let me say, okay, under this knock, because this one is for trade. So let's pick, this one is for managerial position, so let's choose this. Do you have, this is, we maintain yes. We just want to see the scores that each category can give you. Then I'm searching for a place for school. Okay, this is it. Yes, if you have Canada school, if you've schooled in Canada, and then we'll go for masters, that yes, you've schooled in Canada and you did masters in Canada. Let's calculate the score. Okay, now you discover that provincial nomination gives you 600 points. Job offer, okay, before I think because I categorized, I put under tier 1, 2, 3. That's why it's 50 points. I think managerial position should earn more. I would still check. Then study in Canada, you see, it's just 30 points. When you study in Canada, it's giving you just 30 points. So why would I even burn millions of naira to come and study in Canada, except like the game changer is actually the Canadian work experience. That is basically it. Studying in Canada, masters is giving you 30 points. Sibling in Canada, 15. Let's go back to this job offer. Let's see job offer and change the tier to tier 0, which is the managerial positions. Where did I see that? Let me see. Choose the best answer to describe. So this one is for masters. Do you have other language, work experience, job offer? Where is the job offer? Yes. Okay, so let's change this. Let's see managerial position tier 0. Let's see what the job offer, if it is still be just 50. Job offer. Okay, you see it's 200 points. So if you have a job offer under tier 0, which is managerial position, would that be, it's possible though, but it's very, like I always said, it's very difficult. What does this mean? It means you're getting a managerial role from outside Canada. Okay, that's the job offer you're getting from in Canada when you are outside Canada. This will give you 200 points. Okay, so that's the point it will give you. So guys, I hope you've been able to understand. Once you want to start this Canada immigration journey, first of all, I'm summarizing everything. Go to the pool, check the number of people in the pool, the scores they have, come to this comprehensive ranking score to play around the two. Okay, assume that, okay, IELTS, I get this. Like you can see, we played around the IELTS, so you should be targeting, okay, I should get between 7.5 or 9 to 9.0. These are the scores, the score you need to get for your IELTS, and if possibly you have to, if you want to learn French, you can still learn French. So you will be the one to determine which one works best for you. It's even easier if you qualify for provincial nominee program. So all you need to do, in order for you to know if you're qualified or not, go to provinces. They have their different requirements. I know of Saskatchewan expects you to have your work experience and your degree, like your bachelor's degree, should tally. Meaning, if you, for example, you studied agricultural economics in your bachelor's degree, they expect you to have 10 years work experience in that agricultural economics, and it must be in demand too in that province. Okay, so that's Saskatchewan requirement. Then when you go to Ontario has French draw. Meaning, if you write French and you, I think, put it in your first language, you will get, and your score is high with the one that they want to draw. If they are inviting 450 and your score is like 460, meaning you are getting invited under the French category. Okay, then if you don't want like to come under the federal skilled worker, like the normal express entry, or okay, still under express entry. What I mean that those specific draw, if you know you cannot like look for a way to increase your score, you want to remain like 480 something, you notice that the specific draws are usually lower. Like the health, let's go back to the last invitation to apply. The health tech, let's check the last invitation to apply. So you notice that specific draws, the comprehensive ranking score is very low. So if your occupation is in high demand, you'll be targeting NOCs. You go and check NOC that is under healthcare occupation. You put your NOC there, so that even when your score is like 440, 450, you're guaranteed of invitation to apply when there is specific draw for healthcare occupation. So these are for people that is in demand. Or if you happen to have French as your first language or second language and your score is not still high enough, you notice that it's just 486 compared to the all program draw. when you have 5 on all program draw, meaning it doesn't matter what your work experience is. It doesn't matter, provided that your work experience falls under the qualified tier. That is another thing. You will always get invited. Then you see this draw, agricultural and agri-food occupation. So just look for all these specific draw. You see just 354, so you can be lucky. Another one was French. Another one was all programs draw. You see all program draw is usually very high, 504, and without French, or you study in Canada or gaining Canadian experience, you might not hit this point. Then this one is transportation. So all these are the draws that has occurred since 2023 April. If you keep on going, clicking backward, it gives you all the draws that have been happening. So you program yourself to know which one will you. If for example your work experience is under healthcare, you don't need much comprehensive ranking score. You can say 431. So position your tier. Initially it was called NOC. Position your tier, your work experience, so that it will fall under this healthcare occupation. Irrespective whether your comprehensive ranking score is not too high, you will still get an invite. The lowest was 431. Guys, I hope I've been able to explain this explicitly, and in case you have any other question, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that more people can benefit from this video, and you can also share, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so when you subscribe, it gives me the morale to create more content. Please share so that other people will benefit. Okay, thank you guys.